So it's gonna be the last ban for ASN. Yeah, for Eanix rather. Could be right. Might just go for that Batiste ban, and they will.
That's odd. You don't expect Eanix to ban Batiste because they have the Catherine. You were forcing ASN to ban Batiste on A side because if ASN didn't ban it, you were next to pick, and that's the Scarf ban I wanted to see. I think Eanix did play that not great. They could have banned away something else, maybe an Idris, maybe a Grace, or just anything to get rid of that, something they don't like to play against, perhaps Black Feather. Then you forced ASN to ban Batiste, and you could pick up your Scarf. Whereas now, because you banned Batiste, you're forced to go on your second favourite second favourite mage, which is Celeste. That's not too bad for Eanix. They do love playing Celeste. When Scarf's banned away from them, it's their next go-to carry. I'd still expect to see Idris picked up by ASN. They banned the Glaive, who's a good counter to it. Lyra works well with it, and they could even go for the Idris Taka comp, which works really well. I don't think that they'll actually do it, or maybe they might go for Idris Adagio. We've seen ASM play Adagio before, and they did actually bring it out to CP, so you never know. That's a possibility.
Think they can still go for a Baron here, or would that just be too much? Or should they just go for that, like you said, the Idris? I mean, it's gonna be interesting, but we've seen ASN. Oh wow, they actually go for a Baron.
Yeah, they could go for the Baron. I think the reason why I didn't think they should was because you're up against a Catherine who has a great Storm Guard to reflect all your damage, and Idris is still open, which counters Baron really well. So they're leaving that free for ASN. ASN are leaving that free for Eanix. I think the reason they have picked Baron is because we know Vainglory quite likes to play Celeste in the jungle, and so that means that they maybe think that they're not going to pick Idris, and they're going to go for the Crawl in case they do go Idris. That's a smart pick. Crawl's not great against Celeste. If Celeste lands a stun on you, and then Crawl's not great against Celeste and not great against Catherine, because he gets shut down quite hard by stuns, and they've got two of them. I still think Idris could work, but Kestrel might be a better decision against the Crawl. He's able to go invisible, get away when Crawl's on top of you. And as Vox has been banned away, who's the best weapon power carry against Crawl, they're go for Lance. Yeah, the weapon power Lance Eanix are bringing out again. So this means this is going to be a lane Celeste, which is, again, the reason why they picked Baron is because they thought Celeste would be in lane. Eanix loved to put their mages in lane, and so they couldn't go Idris to counter Baron. They're going to go weapon power Lance. It'll be really tough against Crawl, because once Lance goes in, Crawl can get weakness stacks, reduce the damage, and Lance will be unable to get away until level 6. But I think Eanix are so comfortable with their comp that they won't really worry about the draft on ASN.
So who do you think, like, from both of these two teams would have the advantage? Again, just looking at the compositions, we won't tell too much about the players first, but yeah, just looking at the compositions themselves.
In terms of the draft, you have to favour ASN's comp, because you'd say Baron is extremely strong. We're playing on 2.6 still. This is the final week of the old patch, so he's still got that 130% weapon power ratio on his basic attacks. And Crawl is great against Lance, and it can work against Celeste if you just get weakness stacks on her, but you don't really need to. You can let Baron jump on Celeste and jump jets towards her, and Crawl can just focus either Lance or Celeste, whoever he happens to be on top of, get weakness stats, reduce their damage, and ASN's composition is much better, whether obviously there are the comfort picks on Eanix, so they can definitely pull out the victory.
For me, I might just go for Eanix here, because Celeste hasn't been really bullied out in today. Feel like in terms of, well, I'm actually talking about the players right now, but I feel like the range would be good enough, and then there's also the front line of the Catherine and the Lance that should be feel like kind of difficult for ASN to go past, and just start going onto the Celeste.
That is true. It might be really hard for ASN to be able to dive Celeste, and if they're not able to, then they're most likely going to lose the team fight. The thing that could work out well for ASN is if Celeste is trying to poke from the back line, Catherine and Lance diving onto Baron. Baron manages to get away, and Crawl gets his stacks onto either Lance or Catherine. Then ASN might be able to turn it into a 2v3. And once they've killed one of those supports, Celeste has half the amount of CC, half the amount of peel to keep Cruel off her. And that's when ASN should try and dive Celeste. Because I agree with you, they're not going to be able to get on top of Celeste with Catherine and Lance still alive. So they kind of have to focus the roam for one of the kills, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get on top of Celeste, is if she hasn't got all that... hasn't got both captains giving her all that peel.
Exactly. So, as we are waiting for the game to start, guys, you there in our of our viewers, which of you guys think who would win in this game? Show your support a little bit there, guys. Put in your hashtags. I know it this time. ASN win or hashtag Eanix win. Yesterday, I said EAN win, which was a bit of a fail on my end. So I do apologize for that one, but now I know.
Eanix for Eanix.
I thought it was EAN.
It doesn't make so much sense when you say it, but when you read it, it makes an awful lot more sense.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so actually we don't have confirmation yet on our first match, but again, whoever wins the previous semifinals match, or the match before this one, will be going into the finals, and then whoever wins the second semifinals match will be going up against that. So again, guys, this is the second day. This is the playoffs already. Oh, sorry, what? What was that? What happened?
So we are, I think, for this first game, which we're just waiting for some of the players to get ready.
All right.
I think the early game is going to be really, really odd, because obviously Weapon Power Lance has a very strong power spike in the early game. Especially when he gets that tension bow, it'll burst down almost anyone that he gets that impale and first basic attack off on. But Cruel is seen quite as used to be seen as really weak in the early game. He used to need to ramp up, but now with tension bow Cruel being the meta, we may even see a double weapon, which would be reasonably good, because the from Hell's Heart from Cruel almost forces a block on Celeste or a Crucible on Catherine, and so that means Celeste has to get a block, and she'll have to get weapon power defense because it's double weapon. So Cruel with that tension bow, probably going to be tension bow Solar Blade, is really going to be able to match Lance in the early game. There probably won't be that many invades at level 1. Maybe Catherine just try and get a couple of stacks, but it's looking like it'll be pretty passive. I think Baron and Celeste are both going to want to scale up towards the late game. That's both of their win conditions, and then it's all about how they execute late game team fights, who the target focuses on, and if Celeste is allowed to poke out Baron before Baron can get the double shots on Celeste and pretty much execute her very quickly.
Well, we'll just see, because there's also the point wherein Lyra is maybe the off factor here, because we've seen a lot of like make or break plays wherein you use the passage as a gap closer, and maybe that's one of the openings here for ASN to, they don't have to go for picking off one of the supports, so that the Celestians have enough peel. Maybe they can bypass that with the passage, and then Cruel just goes in with the Hell's Heart, and then maybe he has enough damage to chomp on the Celeste. And like you said, there's the double rockets when the jump jets comes out from the Baron, but we'll just have to see as we are into the Halcyon Fold.
Yeah, we are. As I said, Catherine going to go towards the mid to get some Captain the Guard stacks, and both teams going to start very defensive. Trophies, it looks like he might be farmed up, getting a little bit of farm away from Iron Gudai, which does make sense. You want your Celeste to be as farmed as possible. You don't really need Baron to get, you don't really need Lance to get that CS. You want all the money on Celeste. And one thing to point out, Weapon Monkey did pick up a Dragon Blood contract on Catherine. We see Dragon Blood contracts a lot on Fortress. He's one of those heroes that, obviously, when he uses Truth to Tooth to run in, he can proc it, but Catherine just as easily can proc her Dragon Blood contract when she uses Merciless Pursuit. We just don't tend to see Catherine's wanting to be aggressive. There's going to be Lance not getting the Treant.
Githian Wall just for a little bit of that zoning, and they won't get that Treant, but Trophies in the lane actually able to get quite a bit of a CS advantage here against Aeon. Aeon, though, under turret should have at least the help of Teza Boy to get those last hits, but Eanix will be pushing the lane as a 3-man group, goes in with a stun from that Merciless Pursuit. Tezelboy will be able to get away and heal up with Imperial Sigil, or rather with her A slot. So she's gonna be fine. I think they just want to maybe rattle Aeon's last hits here, but it's not gonna happen. He's still at 11 to the 16 of trophies.
Yeah, farming well on the turret, Aeon managing to get all of those last hits pretty much. And now Lance did a lot of invade, tried to get the Elder Treant away from Cruel, tried to get a kill onto Baron, even though Baron was under turret. Xingyi is actually rotating much quicker than Lance because Xingyi didn't go up to lane, didn't focus the Celeste, whereas Lance did. This gives another Elder Treant away to ASN. Extremely good for the core. He wants to get towards that tension bow as quick as possible, and it does look like it will be a double weapon. So that means Angry Die, after getting his tension bow solar blade, is probably going to pick up an Atlas, or maybe even Atlas second item, but definitely going to get some early armor. And I'd expect Truffy's, once he gets a Frostburn, to do very similar, because if you get a little bit of armor, it just helps you out so much.
Oh, Merciless Pursuit. There's the Impale. Nice connection with the Githian Wall. And Eanix, with that follow-up, great job coming in from the red side team.
Yeah, that is the triple stun from Eanix. You obviously first want Catherine Merciless Pursuit. That's guaranteed to hit as long as Catherine gets in melee range. Then you want to have the Lance Githian Wall and Celeste Core Collapse. Just make sure you time them one after the other. As long as they're not at exactly the same time, you're going to get a triple stun. You're going to lock that hero, whoever it is, in place for absolute ages, it feels like, when you're on the other side of it. And while you're doing that, while they're being locked in place, you'll be able to do tons of damage. Cruel, let's get the Triumph in trouble.
And here we go, fight breaks out. There's going to be the connection onto the Impale. You can see Angry Die is very angry here. Xingyi will get taken down, and another hero kill comes out from Eanix. ASN starting a little bit slow here, but well, you got to give it to Eanix. Their invades and their stun juggle is really setting them good in this early game.
Yeah, they've played this competition before where they go Catherine, Lance, and a mage, and I think it was Scarf before, but now with Celeste they just have so much CC stun in a row, whereas with Scarf you only have that slow, so you can't really put off the same combinations as teamwork. And I'd expect to see a reflex block coming out quite soon from the members of ASN, because if they don't, you're going to get caught by that CC chain, so many times. Lance already with a tension bow, Xingyi only with the piercing spear. Is a massive difference between those two heroes, because obviously Xingyi has to get a block, Lance doesn't until Xingyi hits level 6. So that's such an important power spike that Lance has, whereas Robin Monkey, Boots and Merciless Pursuit to retreat, and she'll be fine.
Man, you're just that fast. But now Xingyi out of position, there's gonna be no support for this Crow, and can he get away? No, that's not gonna be the case. But ASN, they're looking for another fight here. Rubber Monkey will get taken down. It's gonna be the 1-for-1 trade trophies from the sidelines. They're gonna be pushing themselves forward. Drops down to Heliogenesis. He's gonna put in some auto attacks. Nice connection onto the core collapse. The damage from the lance. There's gonna be an Impale and the Githian Wall and another hero kill here and now for Eanix.
What a play from Tezelboy to keep Cruel alive. Tezelboy running down to the shot, picking up Fountain, immediately using it so that Cruel could trade one kill onto Rubber Monkey before he died. It was so close. Xingyi was dead. There was no chance Cruel was going to get out of that alive. The Tezelboy with the Fountain to make sure they got at least something from it. But then again, you've just got Eanix. Celeste is landing all of her stuns. I don't think she's missed one the entire game so far, and it's just so important that if you get one, there's
here it is. It's gonna be stun central, baby, and Eanix gets another. What is gonna be the counter to this, Mini? That's just so dirty.
It's called a reflex block. It's an item that you can pick up to block abilities. There's cool.
But can they? From Hell's Heart, indeed, it's going to be used onto the core collapse to Githian Wall for the pushback, and Xingyi cannot follow through. I mean, all right. I'm looking forward for those reflex blocks, so we'll just have to see. But for now, it's still just too dirty for me to see. Oh, they're going for it. There's the jump jets, the damage onto Trophies, and they get punished. ASN capitalizing here, and at least getting that one kill. Can they transition into a turret as Rubber Monkey and I Angry Die will be defending this turret with their lives? They're half on HP, so maybe ASN can capitalize and punish. They're going in. This should be a double kill. I Angry Die though with the combat roll, and Rubber Monkey to survive by himself Where is the Celeste? Right here to the side. Does have the Solar Storm, but is that enough damage? I don't think so. They're going to be transitioning into the gold mine. So ASN shifting the tides of battle a little bit in their favor.
Yep, certainly. Celeste not even going to bother to try and steal this gold mine. Paul has fantastic secure with that Spectral Smite. You're unlikely to get it unless Paul misses that smite. And yeah, Trophies is being farmed up pretty much solo. We saw took all of the backs from Iron Yudai there. Iron Yudai isn't too far behind Xingyi in the jungle, so it's not a complete hyper farm Celeste, but they do want to focus the majority of the gold on that Celeste. Catherine really falling behind. Tesla Boy's got an extra block and Oak Heart, whereas Rock Monkey only with that coat of plates. He's a little bit behind on money, but that's not too much of a problem for this composition. It's going to be good impale, but there's the block. That's all you need, Tesla Boy.
That's all you need. There's gonna be the Hell's Heart. Wow, it actually boomeranged back and got the stun onto I Angry You Die. Here comes Chingy, going aggressive, Dead Man's Rush. Oh, Rubber Monkey is in a world of hurt. Can he actually survive? He's backing away. Trophies was dealing a good amount of heliogenesis damage, but it's not gonna be enough. And ASN are starting to ramp up 8 minutes into the game.
They certainly are. The problem are Trophies with the steal on the minion, trying to stop Call from Porting Home as well. And that's the problem with this kind of composition for Eanix, is all your eggs are in one basket of we're going to get a triple stun and win the game. Whereas Tesla Boy picks up a block. Obviously, a really important mechanic in Vainglory is you can use your reflex block while you're stunned. That's why compositions like this, the triple stun, used to be so strong, because you used to not be able to block when you were stunned. Like, you can't block when you're silenced. Oh, you can while you're feared, but you can block while you're stunned. So that means even if Catherine gets her Mercy's Pursuit, you can block the core collapse, boots away, and you're not completely deleted
Mobile.
on the spot.
Yeah.
You're not. So even though you get stunned by Catherine, you don't get impaled and stunned by Lance and Celeste. And so then you just back off, wait for Call to come. Hell's Heart, I'm pretty sure Chingy missed it. I don't think it was an intended boomerang. Obviously, you get a longer stun if you land the boomerang, it gives you a longer stun. But he definitely threw that out for Celeste. She dodged it and then happened to pick it up on Lance. So a win-win for Xingyi. And yeah, they're definitely turning it around. Infusions on Lance and Crawl.
And here's gonna be another fight to break out. Chingy here onto the sides. And Trophies, oh, he got the from Hell's Heart. There's gonna be the aggression, the rocket jump, or the jump jets coming in from Aeon 222, and the damage. Oh my goodness, look at that. He is just cleaning them up. Only 2 kills, 1 more, and it's gonna be an ace. Can Rubber Monkey survive this? I mean, they did put their eggs in one basket, but you know what they say? You can't make omelets without breaking a few eggs. I don't know if that makes any sense, but only...
Yes, it does. Believe.
Believe, that's a bio. But here we go. Turret to actually falter right now to the hands of Aeon 222. Here comes Eanix. They're going in for the response, but can they do so? Trophies is here. He is on that Celeste, but the jump jets will allow Aeon 222 to actually get on out of there. And will they go for a gold mine? I don't think so, but they're going to be happy with that amount of kills plus the turret.
Definitely extremely good for ASN to get that turret and look like that they are willing to be winning these fights as they do progress later on in the game. I'm slightly disappointed in Iron Yudai picking up a light shield. There's no crystal power at all on anyone, and he actually picked up that light shield before he bought any armor. And so he is itemizing against nobody. Unless that's going to build into a fountain, then that's acceptable. We understand you need shield in order to build your fountain, but you need to itemize your weapon power defense against double weapon comp, and that's Tesla Boy. No, so they'll be absolutely fine. And yeah, Eanix waiting for them, their cooldowns to come back. One thing I want to point out about that previous fight was what Trophies didn't use a single ability because he got stunned by Crawl, then tried to run away. Crawl just stayed on top of him, and yeah, Trophies didn't use an ability.
Oh no, this is a bad position right now for Eanix. You can see Trophies could not find an opening, but maybe they have found a method to the madness. Aeon will have to jump away from the fight. There's going to be the Kroll to take down the Lance here, and Chingy is hell-bent. He's going to be chasing down onto one. Who is it going to be? Trophies or Rubber Monkey? Never mind, it's just going to be that gold mine.
It is, yeah. Kroll managing to find Lance and easily 1v1 on Yudai. There's literally nothing that Lance can do once Crawl gets on top of him. He has to try and he has to try and stumble Crawl into a wall, then combat roll away. But even then, Crawl can just use Deadman's Rush. He's right back on top of you, and you have nothing else to disengage with. You don't want to disengage with your Impale. Miss that route, you're locked in place, and Crawl's going to get easy stats. So I think the Weapon Lance, it's designed to counter the Baron. It does not counter Crawl at all. And Iron Kudai needs to either get more damage so that they can just dive Baron and ignore Crawl at the start of the fight, or needs to get more an Atlas so that he can 1v1 Crawl.
Well, for now, 12 minutes in, there's still no Kraken to fight for both of these teams. And like you said, maybe that is the way for Eanix to have an upper hand here. Truffy's got, I think, a good position there, but Tezaboy is just too good at keeping her teammates alive that it's gonna be a real thorn here for Eanix to find an opening. Do you think that Eanix has like a wombo combo maybe setup that they can use? I mean, you said that they can only focus one target, right, with that eggs in one basket stun juggle, but then can they also like do that in multiple targets, maybe to catch off ASN here, or no?
They could try and stun more than one hero at the same time, but I don't think that's what their win condition is. It's really what Eanix have to do is if they kill Aeon, then they'll be fine. Like, obviously, keeping trophies alive is the main objective. Xingyi 1v3.
Deadman Rush into Trophy's helmet from Hell's Heart will not connect, so this could be an opening right now for Eanix as Aeon is not in the fight, but he drops down a sick Ion Cannon, hitting 3 of the members of Eanix. And here you go from Hell's Heart. Well, it is with a painful heart we have to see the members of Eanix go down, and it's gonna be an ace for ASN. Will they go for turrets or an objective? I think turrets would be, or another objective. I think the turrets would be the one in their sights. So there you have it. They're just gonna go and break down these structures.
Yep, an easy second target for ASN. They already put down the Crystal Sentry, so that's not an objective they need to take. The backs would be risky. Eanix have respawned, so Lance is going to steal that one away. And ASN wants to fight. Xingyi is hiding in the bush. Hell's Heart ain't available in 6 seconds. But ASN smartly deciding that they've got about 4,000 gold between them. Going to go and shop, spend that gold, and then probably turn around. Yeah, they don't need to take their jungle. They're just waiting to fight. And I'm pretty sure that once Aeon has his Iron Cannon available, they're going to go in pretty soon after that.
Yeah, Aeon dropped a sick Iron Cannon from that previous fight. And
why not take a half full gold mine? Just 190 gold each.
Yeah,
I mean, these spawns in 20 seconds, so yeah, good decision.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a pretty good tactic here for ASN, that you use the Ion Cannon because you know that Xingyi would be in the front line, and it's gonna push back Eanix to like a metaphorical or a literal wall, depending where they are, and the Ion Cannon is just gonna be there for extra damage. And that's actually just, I don't know, just something I like from ASN's how they approach these team fights.
Yeah, I think the Iron Cannon is extremely useful from Baron. Just it makes the enemy think, where's that going to drop, and then maybe push them into a position where Crawl's just waiting. Xingyi's doing very well to land those Hell's Hearts. They have to be blocked. Iron Kudai had to use the Rub Monkey had to use Crucible to stop them from Hell's Heart hitting onto Iron Kudai. And Trophies has got a broken myth, so 3 items and an infusion can be bought when Trophies goes to shop. But ASN, they've had enough of Eanix cracking off. They're going straight for Kraken, and I'm sure that Eanix know they heard the Celestial tad late, and it would have been on target, but unfortunately it won't be up for another minute.
Sadly, they didn't know. Maybe this is Eanix a little bit blindsided right now, trying to figure out a way to at least reclaim their jungle for the meantime, so that, you know, there's no free reign for ASN to just keep themselves in position in that area, and then, you know, so that they don't actually have to lose a lot of territory. But right now, this is going to be the Kraken push, so ASN will have to go with the Kraken. They don't want to give that free 500 gold without breaking any turrets first. So let's see, as the fight might break out right about now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure ASN is just going to take this first turret and then pretty much back off. Like, Celeste has such fantastic Kraken. You see, Kraken's already half health. Celeste has just been deleting it. ASN are going to go in, but
Oh,
it's
that
not
Hellsart is too far. It's gonna boomerang back into the embracing arms of Chingy without any reprieve. And here comes Eanix. They're gonna be going aggressive. They two-man stun with the Impale. And here comes Truffy's nice blast trevor from the Catherine Solar Storm as well. And can he get it? The Heliogenesis. Oh, Tezza Boy with the heals. Oh, Tezza Boy. He is so durable with them heal capabilities. There's the blockage on the Impale. The Athenian wall to connect onto that Tezza Boy. Rather onto Chingy, but still they can't capitalize. Here comes Aeon, the burst from the jump jets. He's gonna back away. Chingy from the sidelines goes in with a dead man's rush, and look at how low the HP bars of Eanix are. Although ASN take a crap ton of damage, it's still not gonna be enough. Rubber Monkey here into the sides, and he will be able to get away, but at what cost? They lost a turret, they lost their teammates, and Rubber Monkey, ooh, that was close. That was close.
I'm pretty sure Aeon knew that Rubber Monkey was porting over that wall, but didn't have anything available to really catch him out. Didn't want to just use a porcupine mortar, because then you'd have to walk around to check if she was actually there or not. So no ace given up by Eanix. Truffy's just wanted to back off. You could see that he was they war treads in to try and chase down Shingy and Aeon, but then Truffy's just kind of backed off a little bit because he wasn't ready, didn't have enough energy to do anything. He just barely got enough energy to use core collapse, which stunned up Shingy, almost got them a kill, but then it almost made them turn the fight around. But then Truffy's couldn't use any heliogenesis because he'd run out of energy using it on the core collapse. So that was really a slight poor communication from Eanix. They should have known if Truffy's was good to fight or if he had to back off. And then, yeah, Baron just came through and destroyed everyone.
There still should be a little bit of an opening here for Eanix, because you saw how not really excellent, but okay they were in that fight. There's still a little bit of an opening here for them to maybe catch ASN here, but yeah.
There has been a pause, so each team has 2 minutes of pause time per game, because in case of some technical difficulties, connection issues, and so we're just gonna. So one of the players maybe is disconnected, and they're just making sure they are ready to play, because we don't want to have a 2v3. No one wants to see that. It's just becomes boring. But is it interesting to note that despite the fact that Eanix seem to be losing everything, they're only about 4k gold behind, and that's not a massive difference compared to what we tend to see with comps like this. When you have a Baron who starts to snowball, he tends to get about 10k gold ahead, and then you really have no chance to come back. You haven't got the items. They've got all the gold. They've got 4 items. Maybe you've only got 2. But Baron's got 4 items. Celeste has got 4 items. If Truffy's manages to outposition Baron, Celeste will get the kill. And similarly with Iron You Die, he's got 2 items, so is Shingy. Shingy's only got 2 damage items, and then loads of defense with that Aegis and Crucible. Such a good pick on Shingy to get the Crucible, because there's obviously, as I said, so many stuns. There's also a silence that has to be blocked by Tezza Boy. Then you want to block the core collapse, and then you want to block the Lance Impale. So you've got Shingy's got 2 blocks for it, Tezza Boy's got 1, and the game is going to restart, so hopefully everyone is back in the game.
Hopefully they are. I think they are, because they're all moving, which is good. Second Kraken has already spawned, and this might be it. Eanix, if they don't get this might be the GG call for our first game before we get into that second game here. I mean, this might be the day of best of 3s. We'll just have to see.
The ASN are, if they win one team fight, they win the game. They have 1 turret to get through. That will melt really quickly. And Eanix have 2 fights they need to win. 1 to get a turret and the Kraken, and then they need to push the Kraken, win another team fight, and they will win. So it's not too hard for Eanix to turn this around. They just have to win. They have to get 2 kills now as a minimum, take the Kraken, and then push that successfully.
ASN, I think they're just wanting to clear out all of these scout traps from Eanix, so Eanix have no vision whatsoever of where they're going to be rotating. And at the same time, you can just see the rotations from lane. They want to have the equilibrium of the waves push in their favor, so that Eanix will have to at least lose that. But here we go. Fight will break out. They spot out the the Lance first. He will be able to combat roll over the wall here, but that might have left his other teammates to dry out Aeon from the backline as well. Truffy's, where is he? He's actually taking quite a bit of a beating right now. Oh no, Angry die. It actually also connects onto Truffy's. Truffy's will be able to heal, but Rubber Monkey is out and about. No positioning with his comrade, and oh wait, he still survives, but now he gets taken down. And Truffy's, oh Truffy's, he's going to go for the port. But looky here, the climb into the top of the mountain. ASN are looking for that exposed core. There's still one turret, one hero defending this. Can Eanix do it? Can that Heliogenesis, can this Star Mage be able to rise above and become Celestial? I don't think that's going to be the case. And oh no, the core goes down, and game one goes into the hands of ASN.
Yeah, the Vein Crystal shatters, and Aeon playing extremely well, going 8-1, just deleting the Lance on Angry You Die, and it was just exactly the win condition that ASN had. Was they had to kill Baron. Sorry, they had Baron. They had to kill Lance, then they had to kill Celeste, and in every single team fight, Baron would kill Lance first. Then there'd be Catherine and Celeste left open, and they'd have to either just run away or die, because there wasn't enough peel for Celeste to keep her alive with Lance dead. And so Eanix couldn't play their comp properly. ASN did, and so it was extremely well fought from ASN, and Eanix didn't quite have the damage or the positioning to take out Baron first.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was going to be a good game also for Eanix, but because early game they got such a good